These are 10 secrets you won't believe. 10 Burial Chamber. Archaeologists unearthed a secret chamber beneath the Riedlingen burial mound, which was constructed somewhere between 620 and 450 BC. The discovery, in southern Germany's Danube plain, was made after the team opened the 213-foot diameter, 20-foot tall mound reserved for elite Celts. Damp soil at the site protected the oak walls, ceiling and floor from oxygen, so the wood remained well preserved for over 2,600 years. Experts believe that the double-thick ceiling was designed to prevent thefts, but the effort was unsuccessful as looters broke through the chamber ceiling and gained access through a small entry hole. The robbers made off with a good deal of the chamber's treasures, including, possibly, a four-wheeled chariot. The chamber also housed the skeletal remains of two males, one 15 to 20 years old and the other 25 to 35 years of age. A third grave contained the ashes of a cremated individual. Once the wood is salvaged and restored, the chamber's reconstruction will be exhibited in a museum. 9 Basement. A 2015 Business Insider article notes that a huge, secret basement 10 stories beneath New York City's Grand Central Terminal remained a prime target throughout World War II. During a visit to the subterranean chamber, once guarded by armed troops to prevent enemy sabotage, Metropolitan Transit Authority's Daniel Brooker pointed out the room full of gigantic rotary converters that ran around the clock, converting alternating current into the direct current needed to electrify third rails and power trains in and out of Grand Central Terminal. Later, 3 solid-state rectifiers replaced the rotary converters. If 2 of the rectifiers are sabotaged, the remaining one can continue to power all the trains that enter and leave the terminal. An alligator skin purse, still potent perfume bottles, an upturned bathtub, a dented porthole, etched glassware, and tiny buttons are just a few of the 5,500 items stored in the secret warehouse somewhere in Atlanta, Georgia, owned by the US company that has the salvage rights to the RMS Titanic. Allowed to tour the facility, the BBC discovered the stories behind some of the objects. One of these accounts is really poignant, recalling the hopes, dreams, and tragedy of Marion Meanwell, a third-class passenger aboard the ill-fated ocean liner. She was traveling to the US with her recently widowed daughter. Among the contents of Meanwell's purse were a photograph presumed to have been of her mother, a letter of reference from her previous landlord, and her medical inspection card proving her to have been in good health. Thomasina Ray, Director of Collections for RMS Titanic Inc., says having these items is really important because they allow Meanwell's story to be told, preventing her from being just another name on the list. Some of the other artifacts are reminders of the luxury liner's many comforts and conveniences, but brittle rivets containing slag support the theory that substandard materials used in the ship's construction may have caused it to sink faster. Cups and plates show class distinctions, with the item's quality increasingly improving from one class of passengers to the next. A third-class mug, simple and sturdy, was undecorated except for its bright red White Star logo. A second-class plate boasted a pretty blue floral decoration and looked a little finer, while a first-class plate was made of fine china and bore gold trim and an intricate garland pattern. First-class passengers, unlike those of the second and third classes, were also served on silver. In Cameroon, over 260 schools have been closed. Increasingly, those that remain open, such as the one in Douala that 11-year-old Mac Journey attends, are becoming illegal. In both the nation's capital, Bamenda, and in much of the rest of the country, schools have been closed because they have become targets of gun-wielding separatist fighters. A key component of the separatist struggle has been a school boycott, which is enforced through the kidnapping of students and teachers who flout the order. As a result, school is out for 600,000 children. Mac Journey said he left Bamenda because there was a war, and it was scary to sit in class with bullets raining on the roof. Now, he and other children attend secret schools with locations chosen so that they are hard for the authorities to find. In Afghanistan, the Taliban forbids all girls, but those in primary grades from attending school. In defiance of the prohibition, some girls aged 15 to 19 attend secret schools. If their teachers are caught, they could be arrested and beaten, but such perilous possibilities have not dissuaded them. Even should her educating girls come to this, it's worth it, a female teacher said. One such school has a student body numbering 12. BBC reporter Sekunda Kermani writes, "They've done an impressive job trying to replicate a real classroom with rows of neat blue and white desks. There is dissension in the Islamic clergy's ranks regarding the Taliban's stance." Kermani points out that although he's careful not to criticize the continued closure of schools, Sheikh Rahimullah Haqqani, an Afghan cleric in Pakistan who is well respected by the Taliban, points out that there is no justification in the Sharia law to say female education is not allowed. No justification at all. Similar judgments issued by clerics in the Herat and Paktia provinces in Afghanistan signal widespread support for girls' education even amongst conservative circles. By the way, If there's any topic in this video that catches your eye, just comment down below and let me know if you want me to make a separate video on it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Sky News' chief correspondent Stuart Ramsey shared an eerie personal anecdote in his recent report on Myanmar's secret jungle hospital. A doctor interrupted his sleep to announce the arrival of a patient, a 17-year-old boy whose back had been peppered with shrapnel from a mortar round's explosion. The surrounding guns of warfare require blackout conditions, but the chief surgeon, Dr. Mio Kant Ko, who moved to the jungle to treat those wounded in the fighting that has persisted since 2021 when the nation's military seized power, is able to assess the patient's injuries by flashlight. Blackout conditions are lifted, inside the tent surgery at least, while the injured youth undergoes an operation. The hospital's location is secret because the military doesn't obey international law, and although the medical staff don't have guns and weapons, they attack all hospitals. Equally worrisome, the medical staff fear that a spy posing as a family member will take a GPS reading and pass it to the military. Rita Hirsala and Hamdi Almarsi were fined £2,000 each after they were found guilty of having built a secret house inside their garage. A tall fence hid the new habitat, as did the garage itself. The new residence included access from a nearby one-way street, which, like the converted garage, was also illegal. Although the Blaby District Council found the Enderby, Leicestershire residents completely unacceptable and ordered that the garage be restored to its original condition and that the fence be removed, the unlawful changes remained, prompting legal action. Neither Hirzala nor Almarsi showed up in court or entered a plea, and they were each ordered to pay a £770 fine for breaching the orders, legal costs of £1,252, and a £77 victim surcharge. Among the 600 artifacts on display in a secret museum in McLean, Virginia, are a miniature camera that fits inside a cigarette pack, an exploding martini glass, and a scale model of Osama bin Laden's compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan, which was used to plan the May 2, 2011 mission in which the US Navy's SEAL Team 6 killed Al-Qaeda's founder. According to BBC's security correspondent, Gordon Correra, the model of the compound had only recently been declassified when journalists, accompanied by a security escort, were allowed to visit the secret US Central Intelligence Agency's secret museum, the purpose of which is to acquaint CIA officials with the agency's storied past, including both its successes and failures, so that they can do a better job in the future, the museum's director, Robert Z. Bayer, explained. The museum does involve the public in one way. The CIA plans to share coded images on social media to see if citizens or others can unscramble them. Like other nations, the UK conducts research concerning chemical weapons and deadly diseases. This research takes place 5 miles, 8 kilometers outside Salisbury in Wiltshire, England, within the nation's heavily guarded top-secret laboratory, Porton Down, or, as it is officially known, the Ministry of Defence's Science and Technology Laboratory. Here, scientists study Ebola, Yersinia pestis, the bacteria that causes plague, and anthrax, among other pathogens, or, as Frank Gardner, BBC's security correspondent puts it, diseases that can kill us. The UK assures us that it abides by the Chemical Weapons Convention, but still makes small amounts of chemical and biological agents just to be sure that medical countermeasures can be developed and systems can be tested. Porton Down also tests its microbes on animals, but aims to reduce the number of such controversial experiments, to say the least. Perhaps the lab's use of Porton Man, a humanoid robot, will help bring down the number of sacrificed animals. It has already been employed to test whether any leaks were present in a respirator and a camouflage protective suit, such as soldiers might wear. Although it's been in existence since the Cold War, a defunct military base hidden deep beneath the frigid Greenland ice sheet remained unknown to all but a few, until cryospheric scientist Chad Green, who worked for the US National Aeronautic and Space Administration, flew over the site and snapped an image from the window of his Gulfstream 3 aircraft. As Jeff Thompson reports, at the same time, the aircraft registered a ping from below the ice, which turned out to be the remains of Camp Century. Initially, no one at NASA knew what to make of the discovery, but its identity became apparent when the US revealed its true nature to the Danish government, which administers Greenland. The site was a military base. Built in 1959, it consisted of a network of 21 tunnels that served as both a US Army Corps of Engineers facility and the home of Project Iceworm, built to store nuclear missiles aimed at the Soviet Union. When officials realized that the ice sheet was unstable, Project Iceworm was abandoned. Gone, but not forgotten, the secret military base remains a potential threat. If climate change quickens the erosion of Greenland's ice, nuclear waste, diesel fuel, and other hazardous materials left behind at the site could contaminate the environment. Wow, you guys have made it till the end of the video. And remember, according to YouTube, the best way to help the channel in the algorithm is to watch another one of my videos right after this one. So go ahead and check it out. Thanks for sticking around. See you soon. Until then, peace.